Hey guys, what is up? So as we have said in our last couple of Pokemon Crystal videos, we are finally starting off with the LP that I will be doing on this channel, Pokemon Emerald.
Yep, we are going to be doing Crystal. We have said before we're going to be doing Crystal in conjunction with Emerald, so we will be. I guess we're going to kind of alternate now between Crystal and Emerald of what parts we're going to be uploading, and we're going to try to upload at least a couple parts per week. If at all possible.
Yep, so for those who don't know, Emerald is the third installment in the Generation 3 series. It is kind of like a combination of Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh yeah, Ruby and Sapphire came out first, was it 2003?
2003, 2004.
Yeah, and then Emerald came out, I think, in 2005?
Yes, so as you can see, this is an awesome opening cutscene right here with Rayquaza just kind of trying to quell Kyogre and Groudon.
Might tell them to shut up!
Alright, so,
and yes, we are running this off an emulator. Now, I was initially worried about that message, but it turns out it only affects the clock-based events.
So that means, like, berries and the lottery, so unfortunately I cannot show off the lottery in this game, which would be awesome.
Nor can we show off what happens if you try to grow berries, but we'll explain that very quick. When you try to grow berries, it takes about, I think, what, a couple days for it to fully grow?
Depending on the kind of berry, yes.
Yes, and if you're trying to farm berries, you want to make sure that your berry does not shit on you.
Yes, unlike this game. So, anyways, the Pokemon Professor in here is actually Professor Birch. So, as you might notice a pattern here with all the professors being named after trees. So, yeah, he's kind of going over, like, hey, what's going on in the Pokemon world, what I do for research.
Yeah, I mean, every professor, I think, has their own background. Like Professor Oak wanted to just complete the Pokedex. Professor Elm...
He studied evolution. He studies evolution, I believe.
Yeah, and Professor Birch just wanted to detail his reports based off his own personal experience.
Which I think is pretty cool. A little bit different.
Yeah, so he prefers field work. Yep. And he loves wearing them sandals.
Yes, sandals! Anyways, so just a quick synopsis, just a quick preview. So I'm actually going with the Water-type Pokemon Mudkip, but we'll get into that when we get into that.
Yes. Thank you for basically jumping into who's gonna be a starter. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Not a big deal. I'll admit though, Gen 3 was a generation that I tuned myself out. I didn't know why at the time. Maybe it was because it felt samey as Gen 1 in some instances for me. Maybe I just didn't keep up my interest at first. I did go back a few years later to play it. Well, particularly the Oras remake, but
yeah, you never really got to play the original Gen 3 like I have.
Well, I played it. I just didn't really finish it. I was aware like that.
Yeah. So just for my character, just kind of jumping into the game back a little bit here, I'm just going to go with the default May just because why not? Anyway, Throwback, and it is the default name, so.
Yeah, I think the male protagonist name would be Brendan.
Yes, and I am like a stickler for proper capitalization and stuff, so hence why, because for some reason I think up until Gen 5, all of the names of everything, Pokemon, major characters, all of it was capitalized.
Yeah, as if you're shouting their name.
Yes.
I caught a Brillium!
Okay. Yeah. So,
Say, go! Slack off!
Yes. Brendan used Pokeball.
Yes, and so on and so forth. Final Fantasy VI had the same, the Super Nintendo version of it anyway, had the same issue where all the names are capitalized, so the reoccurring joke of the user is just shouting their name.
Yes. So, this game, for the background for your character is, I believe that your family moves here from the Johto region because your dad became a gym leader.
Yes, and also an interesting note of detail. Depending on which protagonist you choose, the male or female, your house will either be on the left if you're the male, or on the right if you're the female.
Yeah, and your opposite gender. So Brendan is your rival if you're playing the female, and vice versa if you're playing the guy.
Yeah, so I do like that attention to detail. And you'll see throughout this playthrough, there's actually quite a number of Gen 1 callbacks.
Yeah, which I'm pretty excited about. So we'll get into that when we get into that.
But I'll say maybe it was because I felt as a whole, Hoenn kind of lacked his own identity in a way. Well, I mean, we'll point them out as we go along, but
yeah.
But anyways, now we're in the room, in the house.
In the house, yes.
Yeah, in the house. We'll be going to the room. And just like a Generation 1, you can check your PC, which we'll get to in a second, for a free potion.
And I'm just kind of changing my options here, because like text me as gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast indeed.
Yes, and because of me being a girl, I am very obsessed with pink, so I had to go with the
red.
With that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a reddish pink, we'll call it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So after I save, I'm just gonna go up into the room to kind of set the clock, even though it has no bearing on it. So
what's weird is that this game, this particular game runs on an analog clock, where you didn't have to do that in Gold and Silver. So
yes,
it kind of feels like a step backwards, I guess, in some ways. I'm not sure why.
And you can see that we were actually starting this game at night, so. So that should tell you something.
You didn't want to start it at 12 a.m.
No, it's just kind of how I am. So after you set the clock, this is like you go into after this cutscene with your mother, you get a free potion from the PC.
Yeah.
Gen 4, I believe, is the only one that did not do that.
I don't remember. I mean, it's been years. It's been a long time since I played Diamond and Pearl or Platinum.
Guilty.
I know in Gen 5, I think you get the potion for free at some point.
At some point, yes.
Yeah, and then I think then Gen 6...
Gen 6, I don't think you got the potion.
No, but you do get a tutorial scene where someone has 50 Pokeballs. It's like, how did
they get 50 Pokeballs in the first place?
they must have had money, I guess.
Yeah, so anyways, as you go back down into the room, you will see that there is a special on TV about your father, who is the leader of Petalburg City.
Oh yeah, this was the only generation, actually, good thing you pointed out. This was the only generation, at least I can think of right now, that you actually have both parents.
Yeah, it's the only time that I can remember you having both parents.
Yeah, I wonder why that was.
I don't know off the top of my head, but anyways, we'll get into that later. Anyways, you are told to go to your neighbor's house next door and meet their son/daughter.
Well, again, it depends on which one you choose.
I said son/daughter.
I know.
Anyway, so go over, and apparently your character can introduce themselves with just a ton of dots.
Yeah, ... Ellipses.
Ellipses, I think, is the proper terminology.
Ellipse.
Oh, ellipses.
Ellipses, okay.
Yes. So, in order to trigger you meeting your rival of sorts, the friendly rival, you have to go into the room and try and steal the Pokeball.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Hey, what are you doing here, you dirty thief?
Yes. Anyways, so your rival offers you to go catch a Pokemon, but for this particular scene, they have to go help Professor Birch catch some Pokemon, and they say, "Oh, I can't do that, but maybe later I'll be able to do it."
I think the female rival comes off as if she's trying to.
She's trying to make friends with people, and because she's really nervous and shy, whereas the guy is more outgoing and is like, "Oh my God, you're a girl who's your gym leader, kid." Yeah, I thought you were a guy, so.
Oh, it's one of those shockful things. Okay, there is actually a number of things that Generation 3 introduced. As we already mentioned before, you can actually grow berries, which, as opposed to having to wait every day in Gold, Silver, and Crystal for a new berry, you can grow them wherever you like. So we had to interrupt the recording session very quick here.
So me being really stubborn, I wanted to at least get a decent nature on my Mudkip.
Yes, we didn't get a chance to go through all the Pokemon, so we'll go through as one at a time. The one Pokemon Daniel just picked was Mudkip. Mudkip is meant to be a bit of a slower, but a pretty bulky physical attacker. It does have a decent special attack in its own right. And what Danielle mentioned before, she wanted to go for a particular nature. And
I got lucky with Brave Nature.
Yeah, natures in this game determine what stats level up. What stat gets the beneficial increase as your Pokemon levels up?
And what gets the shit end of the stick?
Well, in this particular case, Brave Nature, which increases physical attack but lowers speed. So, the way that works is natures, like I said, determine what stat buffs you get upon leveling up.
It's like a 10% increase / 10% decrease, but there are several natures that are also neutral nature, meaning that they don't benefit you, they don't benefit at all.
They don't benefit, but don't hinder you either.
Yeah, it's neutral, hence neutral.
Yeah. We're not gonna get into all the natures exactly. So if you want to know more, look up on Cerebi.
Yep. Your best resource for Pokemon.
Well, one of the better ones.
Yes.
For sure. But yeah, anyways, back to Mudkip though. Mudkip though, when it fully evolved, becomes Marshtomp and Swampert, and then at the Marshtomp evolution, it gets the additional Ground type, in which makes it great considering it gives an electric immunity, but makes it very, very weak to Grass type moves.
Yeah. But essentially only has one weakness, which is really nice.
Yeah. It does get ice coverage moves.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
So,
no pun intended.
Yeah. so I guess the overall thing with Mudkip is that it's bulky. It can hit pretty hard, but it's also pretty slow. So you might want to
choose wisely.
Yeah.
Just kind of like if you are going to Mudkip, you want to make sure that you have like a good way to deal with those grass types. That will be the bane of its existence.
Pretty much so. The other Pokemon that you could have chosen was Torchic. Torchic is the semi-faster.
It's a semi-faster mixed attacker here. Regular Speed Boost Blaziken, and more importantly, Mega Blaziken did not come into play until later generations. So for those of you who are scared to death of that, you don't have to worry about that here.
Well,
it also did not benefit from the Gen 4 physical special split, but it's still a really good mixed attacker here.
Actually, to be honest with you, I don't think Blaziken. I don't think it really affected Blaziken that much at all. The physical special split, but we'll get more on that comes Gen 4. But anyway, random encounters are definitely gonna be a thing.
Yeah. So we have Wurmple here. Wurmple, it's a weird Pokemon where it's like some sort of like mathematical equation. Once it hits level 7, it can evolve into either Silcoon or Cascoon.
Cascoon, I think, turns into Beautifly?
Yes, and Silcoon evolves into Dustox.
Okay. Alright. I always tend to somehow get the two of them mixed up at certain points because wasn't there a myth that it had to determine their gender or the amount of experience they get before evolving? Or...
Yes. But then Trevor Conroy went on a mathematical rant in his Let's Play of Emerald, pretty much debunking that theory.
But what does he know? He can't even spell.
Beautifly, right?
Yeah, he called it beautiful.
Yes. So yeah. So when you as just kind of like a I can't talk. Sorry about that.
Breathe.
Yes.
So for the purpose of this video, we're gonna be showing off everything we can. We'll be running out random encounter that you may have already seen, at least after part 2.
Yeah.
And because it is Daniel's playthrough, we will be showing off all of the trainer battles you'll be coming across, regardless if they're mandatory or not.
Yeah, just because like if you are actually playing through this game for the first time, you want to make sure if you want to get optimal experience, fighting all the trainers is a good idea for me, at least in my opinion. And B, at least you know like what to expect if, say, like you accidentally run into a trainer. And
C, she wants everyone in Hoenn to die.
Yes, that is another thing too.
Jeez, she wants everyone to witness that.
Yep. Well, so you get 2 free. When you go into Old Dale Town here, it's one up from Little Root. Talk to the Pokemon Mart clerk, and he gets you a free potion. So, within the first like 10 or so minutes of Pokemon Emerald, you get 2 free potions. How's that?
Sure, yeah. Assuming you didn't waste up one of them grinding, but that's okay.
So this will be the only time I believe that we show off the Pokemon Center. Or...
every first time that we show off something like a Pokemon Center or a Mart, we'll almost show that off once, unless there's something in particular about a Mart that sells something that the other towns don't have.
Yeah.
We can always show that bit off.
Yeah. So if you go over to this area right here, this guy blocks you from going in. He says there are a rare Pokemon footprints, so you can't actually access this until after you defeat a rival just a little ways up ahead.
I wonder what that rare Pokemon could have been.
It's nothing, honestly.
I was gonna say Pichu, but no.
No. Do you even know what that guy does?
Well, he's trying to research a really rare
Pokemon, but I will go into what that actually is as we get to that.
Yeah. So now we run to the Pokemon Wingull. Wingull, Standard water flying type. Nothing spectacular about them, at least at this particular point.
Yeah. Pelipper's not that bad of a Pokemon. Drizzle did not get Drizzle until the current generation of Gen 7.
Yeah, that was when Pelipper was like a
Pelipper's still really good. I don't mind Pelipper, honestly.
Its stats, at least in this particular point, is a little bit too average for my liking.
Yeah, I've used it a couple times in conjunction with Swampert. It's not really that bad because they share no weaknesses.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. So
I tend to go for the Swampert Tentacruel combination because Tentacruel can withstand grass type moves pretty nicely.
Yeah.
And it can hurt him right back with Sludge Bomb.
Yep. So anyways, right here we've got Poochyena. Poochyena is just a pure dark type, really nothing drastic about it. It evolves into its final form, Mightyena, at a pretty early level, but it's more of a physical attacker.
But yet,
dark type is special in this generation.
Yeah, this is the last gen, actually. Now you mentioned that types are bound to their stats, whether it's physical or special. As for the first 2 generations, water, fire, and grass, for example, were always special, while fighting, rock, and ground were always physical.
Yep.
It wasn't until Gen 4, and we're just going to briefly mention this, it wasn't until Gen 4 the physical special split happened, so now you can get physical fire moves, which also changed up the moveset quite a bit, only because moves that were special, like say Alexander Fire Punch, now can't use Fire Punches effectively anymore because Fire Punch is now physical, so you would have to basically change out your moveset, which may or may not force you out of your comfort zone if you're used to those kind of sets.
But it does force you to kind of think about things a little bit more.
Yeah, but granted, there are some Pokemon that weren't affected by that.
Houndoom is another example that comes to mind for me, and Blaziken, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So, just going up here, I went to the Pokemon Center and healed, because I did grind a little bit just for this particular rival battle. So, this is Brendan. He's like, okay, I'm kind of going over what Pokemon I found and what route, and he gets the crap scared out of him by us.
Yeah, because he's apparently scared of girls.
Yes!
Ooh, cooties!
Okay, so, yeah, so the rival in this game will always have the mon that your Pokemon is weak to, so if you start off with Mudkip, he has Trico, Trico has Torchic, and Torchic Mudkip.
Right, it wasn't until Gen 5 where you had the 3-way rival where you basically have one advantage over one of your rivals, while the other rival's advantage will be you, and then Gen 6, basically, you have the advantage throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is the other Pokemon that you could have picked if you wanted to. Trico. Trico is the fastest of the 3 starters, and an okay mixed attacker in its own right. I think Blaziken has like slightly better special attack than physical, if I remember right.
Yes, and so Sceptile its final evolved form. It broke away from the norm of the first 2 generations, where it's more of an offensive grass type, whereas Venusaur and Meganium in Gens 1 and 2 respectively were more defensive.
Yeah, well, Venusaur had the part poison type, so it helped out his bulkiness quite a bit. Meganium was fine for utility purposes. In the case of Trico here, or later on Sceptile, it was a really fast special attacker. They can also run substitute sets too,
which is fun. So I've never actually used a Sceptile, but I think it would not be that bad of an idea.
Yeah, but this is Generation 3, where Sceptile, you know, I guess more or less had to find his footing.
Yeah.
In the competitive scene. This is actually one thing we actually got to bring up a while. We have only a couple minutes left in the video. This game also introduced abilities that can affect the battle depending on certain circumstances. For example, your starter Pokemon, whether it be Torchic, Mudkip, or Trico, they're unique in the sense that they have abilities that can boost their moves if they're in less than 1/3 health.
Yeah. So, like, Mudkip gets Torment, Torchic gets Blaze, and Trico gets Overgrown.
Right.
It's the same thing for all the starters from subsequent generations onward.
Yes.
So, you go up here, and you talk to Professor Birch. He's like, oh, hey, I heard that you actually beat Brendan. That's cool. So, this is actually where you're going to get the Pokedex.
Yeah, this is also, I think, a little afterwards you get the running shoes, which I know Fire Red Leaf Green brought in, but Fire Red Leaf Green, you don't get the running shoes until you beat Brock,
which is really dumb.
But I think you know what it is could be, actually, now I think about it, they probably didn't want to scare off the veteran red, blue, and yellow players when they get Fire Red, Leaf Green, and then once they slowly get comfortable with the remake, with the
remake.
With that portion of the remake, then they get the running shoes, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's right, it's a remake. Kind of like how you transition from Mega Man to Mega Man X. You don't get the dash immediately, which later on became a staple of X's arsenal until Chill Penguin stage. So she decided to go there first. So yeah. I think it's a nice touch they added to Fire Red Leaf Green. They want to make it feel like nostalgia for the veteran players while at the same time slowly introducing them to something new.
Yeah. So you get the Pokeballs from your rival here, Brendan. So, and talk to your mom, and she's like, hey, you got your you did end up getting yourself a Pokemon, and as Mike mentioned earlier, she will give you the running shoes. Thank God.
Yeah, the running shoes. All you gotta do is hold down the B button, and then you'll be you'll be traveling the region a lot faster. Which to me,
they put a zip in your step.
Pretty much, a zip in the step, indeed.
Yes.
All right, so with only a few seconds left, with all that said and done, we will be beginning a Pokemon journey pretty shortly here. We will be making our way to what's the next?
We will be making our way through Pellberg City.
Yeah, Pellberg City, and then to Pellberg Woods, and then to Rustboro City.
Yep. All right, guys. We will see you then. Running around. Woo!